Hey guys, it's Heather. Welcome back. Today I am going to be trying Hilary Duff's Busy Mom skin and makeup routine. This routine she said that she does on days where she has her kids, but she also has a couple of meetings to go to. She said she doesn't have a ton of time to do her makeup, but this is a routine she does when she wants to make it look like she put some effort in. So I am going to follow along with her routine. I took a bunch of notes, and some of the products I have, some of the products I don't have. So instead of running out to the store and grabbing all of them, I use products that I do have on hand to kind of dupe them out. So let's get started. So she says the first thing she does is washes her hands, which I've already done, so we're good to go there. And then she goes in with the Olehenriksen Dark Spot Toner, which I have. She said that after having kids, she's gotten some melasma and some dark patches, which I can definitely relate to after having kids. I do have a 3-month-old. So she just starts by applying that to her face and toning her face first. I thought my skin was clean, and I definitely removed a lot of dirt. So she lets it dry, and then she goes in with a glycerin. It's like a vegan type of a moisturizer. It's very thick. I think it has some oils in it. And she said she also uses it as a serum. I do not have that, and I'm a little nervous to try something super thick with oils. I don't know if it would make my skin break out. She also mentions sticking with what works for you, and so I'm gonna do just that. I'm gonna go in with my DermaE Vitamin C Serum. This one has hyaluronic acid in it, and it's very affordable. So I'm just gonna take a couple of pumps of that and just massage it into my face. And I have pretty like normal skin, not too dry, not too oily. She did say that she does struggle with dry skin, so I think that's another reason why she likes a super thick moisturizer. And Hilary Duff really is so beautiful naturally, like she doesn't even need to do this, I would say, no makeup type of a look. So she mentions that she goes in with the Nurse Jamie roller to kind of smooth out her skin, drain any puffiness, and also she uses it because she's a face sleeper and she has a lot of creases on her skin in the morning, which I can totally relate to. So she uses this to kind of smooth out her skin and any of those creases. This one I picked up at Target. It is the Rose Quartz Roller. It's really nice. It feels really cooling on my face. I don't know how well it works, but I figured I would give it a try. So she kind of just pushes it into her neck too. So she also takes an eye cream and she puts it under her eyes and then also on her smile lines. I'm not gonna do that because I always have an issue with eye cream. I know what it's gonna do. It's gonna make my concealer kind of ball up under my eyes, and I don't wanna be dealing with that, so I'm gonna skip that step. But she does take a Ren Eye Cream, and I will list all of the products down below in case you wanna check them out. Both the ones that she used in her video and then the ones that I'm using. So she goes in with Perricone MD as her foundation. It's a really nice serum foundation. It's very lightweight. It's not cakey as she describes it. So I do not have that one, but I do have the Mercier Tinted Moisturizer that has a sunscreen in it. And I'm going to be adding a couple of drops of the No7 just to add a little bit more coverage and make it more foundation-like to kind of match something that she's using. So she puts that onto her hand, and I'm just gonna do a couple of drops of the foundation drops. And this is probably way too much, but she takes it with a beauty sponge and she just starts applying it to her face. So she said she just pats it in to her skin. And this is very different than what I'm used to doing. Normally I use a brush, but again, I'm very interested in trying out someone else's makeup routine and seeing what works for them to see if maybe it's something that I could implement into my everyday routine. So I'm always looking for new ways to do my makeup and new tips and tricks. Because I just find that the sponge, for me, it just takes up so much of that product and I'm having to use more. She said that she kind of like rolls the beauty sponge into the area around her eye and around her nose. Like she does like this rolling technique to kind of get in any of the crevices in the corners. And then she says that she makes sure she gets it like up into the hairline because she doesn't like to have, you know, a distinct line of demarcation where I guess the foundation was and her hairline is. So I'm just gonna kind of press it into my hairline. And then she just kind of drags it down her neck a little bit, but she said she likes to do her makeup in steps. So she said that she'll address her neck later on in her routine. Okay, so next she goes in with the Chanel Soleil bronzer. I don't have that, it's a cream bronzer. So I'm just gonna go in with my E.L.F bronzer. This one is the little Aqua Duo. I really, really like these cream products. She starts with right under her cheekbone and just kind of bronzes that area, almost like she kind of does it like a contour, and just presses it in the skin to accentuate her cheekbones. So she does that on both sides, obviously. This is very different than what I am used to doing. And then she goes ahead and she takes it and she kind of just pats it onto her eyes. And then she takes it along her hairline as well and kind of bronzes up that area. And it's funny because she did mention that by doing this, it's like redarkening that melasma patch that she had. And I think the same thing, especially in this area where my melasma tends to be. So then she takes what's left on her sponge and just kind of pats it into her chin, just kind of brushes it along there. And then another tip she said is that she makes like a W on her face, like where the sun would naturally hit. So she just kind of goes like this and like a W type motion and just blends it in. Again, she said she doesn't take any extra product, but she just kind of pats in what she has left, I guess to make it more like natural looking. So that's very interesting. I have not tried that. So next she said that she just started using concealer and she uses a Glossier cream concealer. I don't have that, but she takes it with like a flat little foundation or concealer brush and she just kind of blends it into her under eye area. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I can already see this look being like very dewy, kind of like no makeup look. And I think that's exactly what she's trying to go for. Okay, so next she moves on to her eyes and she starts just by using an eyelash curler to just kind of curl the lashes and to make her eyes appear more wide awake. So next she goes in with a Chantecaille, I'll put it up on the screen, kind of a cream to dry eyeshadow, and I'm gonna be going in with the L'Oreal Infallible here in Bronze Taupe. It's a very similar type of a brown. She just kind of like swirls her brush in the pot. She normally uses her fingers to do this, but since she's got long nails right now, she's just using a brush. So she puts this product on the lid a little bit up into the crease area and just kind of deepens that up to create more of a lid. So I am liking the way this is looking so far. It's just like a very kind of dewy makeup look. So I'm just gonna blend that in and just kind of go up a little bit higher than my natural lid just to create more space there. Okay, so now she goes in with the same product but uses a flat brush. So I'm just gonna tap that on there. I'm a little bit nervous to do this here. And she just kind of does it very smudgy under her eyes. I'm definitely not used to doing this with like a flat brush or putting like a cream product under. And then she said that she focuses more like on right underneath the pupil and just kind of smudges that with her finger more, just because that's more like the focal point of where people will look. Do the same thing on the other eye. I'm just gonna kind of dab that on and blend it in there. So next up, she goes in with the Stila glitters in the shade Kitten. I actually do have this one. And she applies that directly to the lid. This is actually a really pretty combination. She doesn't go crazy with it. She just kind of does enough where it looks like a wet looking shimmer. So then once that's dry, she goes back in with that same original brush and just kind of pats it in and makes sure that there's no weird lines, she said. So now she goes back in with her cream bronzer because she wants it to be a little bit more bronzy under her eye. So she takes that same flat brush and just applies that cream bronzer under her eye just a little bit. I'm doing the same thing here. So now she goes back in with the Stila and she's using the shade Kitten, and she applies it underneath her eye, like on her lower lash, specifically more towards in the middle. And she said it's okay if you get some on your lashes. This is definitely very interesting for me to try. So there we go. I got some on the lower lash line. So now she is adding a little bit more glitter over her eye. She didn't list what the name of it is, but it's like a kind of like almost a gold peachy colored, it appears to be. So I'm going to be taking my L'Oreal Infallible, and this is like a shimmery shadow in the shade Amber Rush. And I'm gonna take a flat brush like she did, and I'm just gonna put it on here and just pat it onto the lid just like she did to give it a little bit more glow and just add like more of a peachy tone. So I'm starting to get a little bit of fallout, but it's not too bad. Okay, so next up, she uses Kaboom by Benefit for her brows. Now I don't have that, and then she does use Gimme Brow too. So I'm gonna just be using my LA Girl Shady Slim Brow Pencil. It's like a waxy pencil. So she likes to have this portion of her eyebrows brushed up and then out towards the outside, just kind of down and out. So I'm just gonna go in and just fill in any sparse areas like she does. And she mentioned that she always has one eyebrow that's better than the other. I'm sure a lot of us can relate to that. I have the same thing. I'll have one eyebrow that's being good and looking good, and then the other one will be just not looking good and just kind of crazy and out of whack. And then she likes to just create very like natural looking strokes, especially on the. So she did say that she goes outside the lines a little bit to get that full brow appearance, and then she goes in with a Glossier Boy Brow or Benefit Gimme Brow just to kind of lock the brows into place. So I'm gonna be taking Gimme Brow, and I'm just gonna lock a little right underneath. So next, Hilary goes in with a highlighter. It is by, I think by Terry, she said, but it's like similar to this peachy color. And she said she swirls into place, brush around, and she applies it exactly where she put her bronzer. So I'm just gonna do the same thing here. And then she also said that she kind of like brings it in like a C. And then she also likes to be a little bit careful here because it's gonna look shade, and it's like a highlight. She just kind of more like a highlight shade, so I'm around her eyes. She described it as. So I'm gonna do the same. And then she takes a, make sure I just kind of blend that in with my finger. And then she also takes by the same like NudeStix stick, and she just kind of outlines her Cupid's bow and applies highlight there as well. Just kind of taps it on all the areas where she sees herself getting a little bit dewy. So at this point in her routine, she states that she's getting a little bit she goes in with Hoola, which is a really nice matte bronzer that doesn't have any shimmer. I actually have that. And she just kind of goes over the areas that she already bronzed with the cream bronzer. So she mentioned like the W area that she does. So I'm just gonna go over that. So everything kind of just fades. And then also like along her forehead in this area. And then this is where she said she kind of blends everything down into her neck.
I never remember.
So next she goes in with mascara. As I mentioned before, she said that she had eyelash extensions and I guess maybe her eyelashes got brittle or started to fall out, but she said that her eyelashes are finally in a better place now. She's been using this product called Grande Lash, and it is a mascara and a serum in one. So it's doing its job as far as, you know, helping your lashes to grow and be moisturizer and stronger during the day when you put that mascara on. I do not have that product, but I'm gonna be going in with Maybelline's The Colossal. It's like a similar type of a mascara, like very fluffy. And she said that she applies the mascara everywhere, but she really focuses on bulking up the area in the center of her lid, and that she very gently kind of just puts product on the outer portion of her lashes because she doesn't want it to be like super thick and create. And then like on the lower bits, she just kind of gently puts it on enough to just, she said, brush out the makeup that she had applied down there. But she doesn't like it to be like very heavy. Focus all. So I am gonna go in and dip the tube again and go in my left eye. Like she did in with this one, but I'm gonna it onto the apples of her cheeks, and then just kind of next like up she goes in with like a peachy pink, and then she takes like a highlight eyeshadow and applies it actually on her inner corners, the same brush that she used to apply her bronzer. I'm gonna do that with the same highlighter I used. She says that she's almost done, she promises. So it does seem like a lot of steps. So now she takes like a cream contour bronzer. This one that I'm using is the L'Oreal Infallible Longwear. She says that and she just packs into that in. And she just takes a little bit and she contours with it like a tiny bit on her nose. I have to be careful here because I feel like I don't nose at all. She takes it a little bit on her cheekbone. She takes her beauty blender and she just patches that in, accentuate that cheekbone, and then she takes like a little. So I guess this is just kind of maybe, I guess, when she gets to this point.
But it is kind of a nice.
And she says that she does this step kind of after the fact to make sure that she doesn't look, I guess, too contoured. Blender and just massaging that in. To do a little chestnut bit more. I do not contouring. I do not have that one, but I am using MAC Soar. It's a very similar shade, and she just started slightly overlining her lips. She had mentioned she's really okay. So she goes in with a Laura. Full lips to begin with. So she mentioned that she lines her like lower lip line, but in the center here, she just kind of overlines it slightly just to kind of make it look a little bit more voluptuous. So I'm gonna give that a shot. And then she goes and outlines the Cupid's bow. So next up, she goes in with a YSL lipstick. It's like a Maybelline and color, beige. Really pretty. I think I'm gonna go in here and mix a little bit in combination with this lip. Pretty like peachy pink nude color, and I think it'll look really pretty in combination with this lip. So I'm just. And she did mention that she normally layers. I think I'm going to add a pinch of stick, like a little sheen. Plus, it's a Maybelline lipstick. It's like a sheen. Moisture back in. Moisture back in. So then she takes a concealer brush and kind of cleans up the sides here on the bottom, just to make sure. She said she doesn't mess with the top. She goes in one more time with a little bit of powder, and I'm just using the Fit Me pressed powder. I like to spray, which is like a very light. Okay, so next she goes in with a setting spray that has SPF in it. I do not have that, but I did already put the set my face. So I'm just gonna use spray to set my face, and then let either Jasmine described it as. So I am just going to be spraying my Brazilian Crush body spray. This is by Soleil. But that is it. I would describe this as like a no makeup look. From what she was trying to say, I thought this was fun. It's definitely very different. To try, just leave it down below. But it's always fun.